Hey, Stratman from pipware.com again here, looking at using fractals. Now, we just had a discussion on fractals and how if we break fractals that are making lower highs and we break that, then that's going to be considered a change to an uptrend. And conversely, if we're looking at higher lows continuing up and then the highest low gets broken, then we are considering that as a trend change. Now, on the dashboard, we have got a setting here to turn arrows on for each of those occurrences when they occur. So if we turn that on, we get that showing up for us. So this can aid us for the best place to enter, possibly. So with the moving averages looking like this, we are definitely not interested in going short, so we disregard the red arrows and we concentrate on the green arrows. So as soon as a green arrow occurs, it means the fractal has broken on that time frame, and that's kind of an indication of an entry. So we might get a later entry, we might get an earlier entry, but overall could be considered a better entry, more likely to continue for us, because we're following the typical idea of price moving in waves, and when we see this green arrow appear, we know that price has made a higher high, is going to make a higher high than previous. So this trade here would have been a good one to enter and go long. If we go back in time, we're on the M5 time frame here. We'll look at some other opportunities. We would be disregarding this opportunity here, but entering on this one. So note that quite hard to draw trend lines and things here. So without the trend lines, if we just rely on the fractal breaking there, that can be very useful to get us into a good trade. So another one occurred here. So we didn't enter way down here, so maybe that's possibly quite a late entry, and may not have made us many pips. And here's some other ones. Sorry, this is a downtrend one. So this one here, as soon as this occurred, downtrend, we disregard the uptrend one there, and we get into this downtrend one here. So the thing with this is that it stopped us getting into trades just based on this pullback here and this pullback here, and we finally got into a trade on the best pullback, which was this one. Same as here, we had a pullback here and a pullback here, and you know, potentially you could have gone in short here, but what the fractal break did for us, it got us in the better place, which was way out here. So in this case we got in here, in this case we got in over here. So we disregarded all this kind of rubbish going up, and we wouldn't have been trading during this little portion here. And you know, sometimes there may be a miss because you know, price didn't change very well in this area. The fractal broke kind of here, so this was the entry to enter, but our moving averages kept us out, and we wouldn't have gone into any trade in here. Once the fractal is broken in the direction of choice, then we're probably going to have to start looking at, because we won't get another green one until we've had a red one. So we may be looking at fractals ourselves and considering what's going on down here. So those are the trading opportunities that one can get. So this one here was a good one. Trend is not considered to have been reversed yet, so this is still considered the one move from this point all the way to this point. So some people might consider, well, I'm going to get out on one of these peaks here possibly because I don't want to hold it. Price has come back, so this is where the fractals are good, because price has come back and come back again, but then continued on and then finally made a fractal to say, look, we're now making lower lows. So we enter around this area in the direction of our moving averages. Again, we're not entering short here. We enter long here again. Again, this is retraced back, but you can stay in. We didn't get a red fractal saying that we've changed direction. You might have wanted to go out on a peak, or you might want to get out when trend is considered reversed. And in this case, we haven't got another green fractal here, so we're not going to enter at this point if we were using fractals alone. So there's another way of looking at how you might enter instead of just using a trend line, considering fractals doing it for you. So I hope that's helpful for you guys. And look, if you find my information helpful, just remember, a little bit of shameless promotion here. I earn 2% a day from trading, but my trading capital isn't enough to actually sustain me. So any donation to me would be greatly appreciated to help me increase my trading capital. And purchasing the dashboard would obviously be a help as well. So I hope you guys are finding these videos helpful, useful. Fractals, just another tool that you can add to your toolbox. We also, with the dashboard, supply fractal support and resistance lines so that you know when one of these arrows is possibly about to occur. So that can be another helpful thing too. So I'll just clear the workspace and show just those and the arrows. So you can see the lines here coloured in blue. Basically the thin lines here, like this one here, this is saying that this is the current direction of trend in terms of making lower lows on the H1 time frame. Now the thick line means that on M15 that currently, if I found the other M15 line, which is there, so there's two M15 lines here. So this line here is the previous high fractal, or the current high fractal, and this is the current low fractal. But because of the colouring of the lines here, sorry, not the colouring, the thickness of the lines, I can tell that the direction on M15, it's been making higher highs because this line here is thinner than this one. So if this was to break, price was to break this, then they would change, and the previous two fractals on M15 would be the opposite way around, because we'd be considered downtrend, lower lows. So I'd have a thin line for the support and a thick line for the resistance. In other words, the resistance is kind of stronger than the support. So this is very useful in letting you know when you're approaching one of your fractals and what might occur there. So if I go out to M15, you can clearly see where we've got a kind of break to be wanting to trade long here. We're only interested in long. If we're interested in short, we'd be looking at wanting to see this one break. So that's where these so down on M1 support and resistance lines, you can see that again as well. So even if I was on M1, even though I could draw a line down this way, I know that my fractal for M1, this is my recent high fractal for M1. So I'm not going to trade long until I see that we're breaking that, because on M1 here we're considered to be making lower lows. There's the current low fractal. So when that breaks, there's going to be no arrow disappear or anything. All it's going to show is that we'll get the next line when the next fractal draws. So we stay with a thick line until that up one is broken. We stay with a thin line while we're continuing to make lower lows. It's a bit of a hard thing to explain. I hope I haven't mucked up people's thinking too much, but this is how the fractal kind of part of the system works. We're wanting to see the thick one break, and then we know that we're changing direction in our favour. So only interested in long trades at the moment. On the M1 time frame, if we're using that, it's showing that we're in a downtrend, lower lows. We're not interested in entering short. We're waiting for the next fractal to occur. As soon as the next fractal occurs here, this line will move down to that point. So yeah, so I might just pause it and just see if it makes one of those. And so as you can see, the fractal that was just there, as this fractal completed after the second candle, the thick line has moved down. So this is the line we're looking for to break for the arrow to change green and to trade.